What is up, guys? Welcome back to episode 4 of the Trackside Girls podcast, season 3. Um, we're gonna do these NASCAR recaps. I did not get to watch any of the sessions.
I don't remember them because CW sometimes doesn't want to work to watch the practice and qualifying, and then I forget that Cups is on Prime, and so half the time that doesn't want to work either. So I don't even watch practice and qualifying.
It was
But I know that
on.
but I know that Kyle Busch and I think Christopher Bell something happened during practice or qualifying because I know Kyle went over and confronted Bell about something.
I did see that. Um, Also, didn't the same thing happen last year?
Yes.
So that's why I was sitting here and I was like, I thought those were like replays from last year.
No, it happened again this year. And then, because then when it finally loaded, they were playing the replay, but it was literally Kyle Busch's fault.
Oh, uh-oh.
He's the, he's the one that hit the back of Bell, and then they both just kind of spun.
So we're gonna go over, it was only Xfinity and Cup at Coda. So as always, we're gonna go over NASCAR first. To the rear, Jesse Love, Chris Wright, Harrison Burton, Kyle Sieg, Austin Green, Balthazar. Don't even want to attempt to say that last name. Ryan
Horrible.
Sieg, Preston Pardis, Ryan Ellis, and Josh Bilicki, also the rear for unapproved adjustments. Um, in qualifying, Balthazar, about, hopefully I'm saying that right, spun in turn 19, and Thomas Annunziata, bam,
Yeah.
shout out to Leland Honeyman Jr. for that, because I have, I finally figured out how to say his name. Stopped near turn 15. For practice, Jeremy Clements had a power steering issue. Riley Herbst went off track in 6B. Ryan Sink went off track in turn 1. Sam Mayer off track in turn 19. Harrison Burton spun off of turn 12. Balthazar lost power on the front stretch. Sheldon Creed spun in turn 18. Chris Wright stalled between 6A and 6B. 17 total track limit penalties in practice.
A lot to unpack.
Yes. Yes.
And a lot to the rear
Yeah.
because of that.
We are going to get into the race. It was Connor Zilic leading, um, which he's the one that got pole with Ross Chastain on the outside.
Mhm.
The first caution for cause, lap 4, Carson Hocevar noses into the tire barrier in turn 6A, near 24th after contact with Jeb Burton. While Jeb continues on, Carson Hocevar climbs out of the car.
Which, fact about that, Carson's radio wasn't working at all, so he had no one to tell him what he was doing. He had to do it all himself, and Jeb kept blaming Carson that it was Carson who did it purposely, but Carson's radio was not working the entirety of the race.
So none of his spotters were over the radio.
So he could hear absolutely nothing, so he was doing it all by himself.
Um, the next caution for cause was lap 19. Balthazar comes to a stop on the front stretch. Um, Connor Zilic comes to pit road just as pit road closes, but still stops. And William Byron attempts to get on to pit road, but aborts. Under this caution, William Byron wins stage 1.
Boo.
Connor Zilic is penalized because of that stop when pit road was closed. Next caution for cause was Jeremy Clements spins into the tire barrier in 6A, taking down the banner on the barrier. but he was able to continue with minimal damage. Jesse Love leading with Riley Herbst on the outside. And it is green all the way until stage 2 with Harrison Burton winning stage 2.
Guys, that's my boy.
We always know, like, I feel like I didn't follow Harrison before he was in the Cup Series,
Oh, I
just
did.
because I was not back into NASCAR whenever he was still in Xfinity. But as much as I love Harrison, I pull for Harrison. Like, I still believe that he got pulled from Xfinity too early. Like, I feel like he would have benefited for a couple more years in Xfinity. Um, but um, on the restart, Carson Kvapil leads from the inside, William Byron on the outside. Um, and on this restart, Corey Heim spun with contact with Connor Zilisch, giving Connor right front damage.
Yeah.
But again, green until the end, with Connor Zilisch winning by 1.64 seconds over William Byron. Did I hold on? Let me look at the I
I
made
genuinely
I
I
made
genuinely have no idea who I picked.
you picked Connor as your winner. I picked him as a long shot.
Okay, so therefore we both won.
Yeah.
I was like, I genuinely have no idea who I picked. I was like, I'm pretty sure I picked Connor, but for the life of me, could not remember.
Something um like my favorite Xfinity driver, I gotta note this. So his birthday was on Friday. Um, he qualified 13th, I think is what he told me. Um, and he got a top 10 at Coda. He finished 10th the day after his birthday. So that was pretty sick. A good birthday weekend in Coda for Blaine Perkins. So for the cup race, I did not watch any of this cup race. I was in St. Pete all weekend, so I was not able to watch any of this. So this is
I
gonna be
I
interesting.
watched I watched the race. Don't remember a single thing from the race.
Well, then
Not
this
one.
is this is gonna be perfect because then we both get to recap.
Like I
So
didn't remember.
So, to the rear, Zane Smith for unapproved adjustments. In qualifying, Josh Berry had a time disallowed for going off track in turn 4. Riley Herbst had a time disallowed for going off track in turn 3. John Hunter Nemechek had a time disallowed for going off also in turn 4. In practice, Bubba Wallace spun in turn 18. Ricky Stenhouse spun in turn 19. And there were 38 track limit penalties in practice. That was
It's okay.
wild.
Everybody, it's okay. We all know we call him Recky Spinhouse. That's his nickname for a reason. It's okay. It's okay.
Um, Now lap one, Tyler Reddick got the pole, so he leads from the inside, Bubba Wallace on the outside. So it was a 23-11 front row. Last week we had a Penske front row. This week 23-11. Bubba Wallace gets off to a slow start, bumped by Carson Hocevar. Ross Chastain makes a big charge entering turn 1 and hits Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott spins. Todd Gilliland also gets caught up, while Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, and Connor Zilisch make contact. Denny Hamlin continues with left front damage, while Connor Zilisch slows with a flat front Right tire. There we go. Sorry, that was so hard for me. I don't know why.
I think you were having like a stroke, but it's
I
fine.
don't, honestly, like, I wouldn't doubt it.
It's fine.
Let's see. Ty Dillon spins on the front stretch after contact with Austin Cindric in 30th, but it continues green. Bubba Wallace wins stage one, his first stage win on a road course. Once they get going again, it is SVG on the inside, Kyle Busch on the outside. And it is green all the way up until Ryan Preece wins stage two. Right before the end of stage two, Kyle Larson loses a right front wheel in turn 15 um, and receives a 2-lap penalty.
Which is so funny because for the longest time, you just saw the wheel, and they could not figure out for the life of them whose wheel it was until they were showing on the cars, and they're like, Larson doesn't have another wheel on his car. And so we all just started laughing because the wheel was just rolling and rolling, and no one knew whose tire it was, which was so funny.
But under caution, um, Daniel Suarez spins in turn 19 and gets hit by Connor Zilic, bringing out the caution. Connor Zilic gets put in the safety barrier, um, unfortunately, in his debut.
Yeah,
But God, was that a pretty Red Bull car.
it was a good one.
Looks like it is green and up until lap 78. Denny Hamlin and Austin Dillon spin while battling for 20th in turn 6A. Denny Hamlin continues, but Austin Dillon gets stuck in the gravel. It is Kyle Busch leading on the restart, William Byron outside. Oh, this might be where Christopher Bell and Kyle Busch are arguing. Because Christopher Bell closed in on Kyle Busch in the last two laps as Kyle Busch began to struggle. Um, Christopher Bell makes a move and tries to get by Kyle, but overshoots the corner, goes wide, and briefly falls to third. Bell tries to get inside Kyle Busch entering turn one, but is unable to get alongside, and hounds him for the lead for the rest of the lap. Christopher Bell gets alongside Kyle Busch in the S's, but the two make contact, causing Christopher Bell to drop just behind. Um, gets alongside him again, but Kyle Busch is able to hold him off. Um, and Christopher Bell clears him for the lead in turn one. Um, and then looks like Kyle Busch ends up falling back. Um, and Tyler Reddick takes the spot for third, so it ends up being Christopher Bell, William Byron, and Tyler Reddick for the top three. And but yeah,
Maybe, maybe, but I thought it happened during practice and qualifying, but maybe it was. I don't know.
I'm not sure, but that at least happened. But Christopher Bell won, um, won at Coda.
All that was hoping was that Willie B did not win.
There. But that just means Christopher Bell won 2 weeks in a row.
I know, it's kind of annoying. I honestly didn't want Christopher Bell to win, but I really didn't want Willie B to win. So I was like, who, if I had to choose, who would I go with?
You need the lesser of two evils in that situation.
Exactly.
Um, I gotta figure out how to explain this IndyCar stuff.
I like,
Uh,
I watched it, but when I don't watch it all the time, I'm like, I have no idea what's happening.
so Um, I'm just gonna tell you what I remember, and then we're just gonna tell like the top runners of each session, okay?
We'll call it good.
We'll just go with that. Um, so practice one, for IndyCar, Kyle Kirkwood was fastest, Alex Below second, and Scott McLaughlin third. For practice two, it was Marcus Ericsson, Rinus VK, and Alex Palou. For qualifying, the ones that made it to, oh, sorry, in group one, that went to the Fast 12, was Scott McLaughlin, Colton Herta, Nolan Siegel, Joseph Newgarden, Christian Lundgaard, and Rinus VK. Scott McLaughlin was having a little bit of trouble over the weekend because he spun like I think at least twice over the weekend. Um, but he got it together. Um, and out of group two, the ones that moved on to the Fast 12 was Alex Palou, Scott Dixon, Felix Rosenqvist, Marcus Ericsson, Marcus Armstrong, and Kyle Kirkwood. Um, Moving on to the Fast Six, was Colton Herta, Christian Lundgaard, Marcus Armstrong, Scott Dixon, Felix Rosenqvist, and Scott McLaughlin. And the one to get pole was Scott McLaughlin. Overcame his spins throughout the weekend and got pole. Um, For the warm up, on Sunday morning, it was Joseph Newgarden fastest, Scott Dixon, and Alex Palou. For the race, Alex Palou ended up winning the first race of the season. We honestly thought Joseph Newgarden was going like to catch him. And then he just kind of fell back, and then Scott Dixon ended up passing him for second. But those were the three on the podium, with Scott McLaughlin ended up being fourth. If you guys want to see any of that footage over the weekend, like I said, I was there, I was doing media. Again, I do my little TikTok vlogs, so they are on my account. I was at the podium when Alex Palou got out of his car, so if you want to see that too. And also, this little piece of confetti is signed by Alex Palou. Um,
So
so
cool.
I have a little baggie of confetti because I was not leaving like my first IndyCar race without getting some confetti, okay? Especially if I was literally in like victory lane photographing it. Like I needed me some confetti. Um I also I got to chat with it's not on video, but I got to do a little quick little chat with Will Power, and then I got the only two drivers I got actual pictures with were Joseph Newgarden and Scott McLaughlin. Something that was not in my TikTok vlog. Um so it was the end of Sunday, packed up all our stuff, like walking out of the track, and there is Scott McLaughlin packing all of his stuff into his car. And Scott's already sitting in the car. He's already sitting in the front seat, but his wife is walking around the car, like putting stuff in the car, closing it up, about to get in the passenger seat, okay? And I'm sitting there, I'm like kind of like peeking around. Like I'm standing probably about 10 feet away from the car, but like I'm kind of standing like at the front headlight. So just so he could see me if he wanted to. But, like, I wasn't going to go actively go up to him because I didn't know if that was weird or not, because I'm not gonna go over there and knock on the window, okay? Like,
Go over there, knock on the window, and be like, "Hey, can you get out for a minute? I
yeah,
need
like, but like he looked up and he saw me and he like waved at me and and he like waved me over. like towards him, and then he like rolled down the window before I started walking over. He's like, um, I'm like, hi, sorry, like I didn't know if it would be weird to like to come over to you while you're in the car. And he's like, no, 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 it's fine, come here. Like, and I got a picture with him, and I was like, oh my God. And then, like the interaction with Joseph, it was it was after the end of the race, and I was in the media center, editing photos and stuff, and obviously the top three finishers they have to do like little press conference like in the media center, and so I was standing outside of the conference room, and all of a sudden Joseph Newgarden walks out the door from the press conference, and I'm like, oh my God, this might be my only chance. So like I like kind of slightly sprint behind him, and I'm like I I'm I like very politely, and I'm like, "Hey Joseph." And then he like turns, he's like, "Hi, how are you?" And it's like, can I get a picture, please?" And then he's like, "Oh, of course." And I'm like,
I love Joseph Newgarden. I have a hero
I
card. I have a hero card that I got at Penske last year from the Coca-Cola 600 when we went to the Penske shop. And Joseph's, I got the last one of his. I love Joseph Newgarden. He's so
I
funny.
yes,
He's so funny.
um
He's hilarious.
I technically did get to meet Pato.
Oh,
I did chat with him for like a split second.
I
I
love Pat.
didn't, unfortunately, I didn't get a picture with him, but I did interact with him. Like me and him made eye contact, okay? Like,
That's all that's
um,
important.
who, so I was leaving the track, um, Sunday night, like going to head home, and me and, um, my best friend from college who was doing media with me, were walking down the sidewalk towards the parking garage. And there's a couple walking straight towards us. Okay. And obviously, one of us has to move to the side, or else we're just gonna run straight smack into each other. Okay. I'm on the
No, that's
phone
when you
with,
just run right into them.
I'm, what?
I said that's when you just run straight into them. Be like,
Right?
oops, sorry, my
Right.
bad.
But like, I'm actively on the phone with my mother when this is happening, and me and the guy make eye contact. And I look up slightly and I read what's on his hat. And you could tell he could see the realization on my face. I had a staring match with Christian Rasmussen. And I'm like literally on the phone, like as he's actively passing me, and I'm like, oh my God, that's Christian Rasmussen.
Those are so kind of funny.
Like it was wild. Like because I was downstairs on Friday too. Um, like I was taking pictures of them in the media pen. Um, and I like there's so many that I made eye contact with, and it like kind of threw me off because like I said, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but my rule of thumb is I just have to meet them once, I have to interact with them once, and then I'm good. Like, and like I got to interact with Alexander Rossi. He's so sweet. He was in a hurry, but like he was still nice about it. Um, I as much as I love Marcus Armstrong, this weekend kind of put a bad taste in my mouth, about him. Yeah, he could have been a little bit nicer. Um, like it just seemed as if he had the attitude that he was too good to interact with people. Um, so he needs to do something for redemption because like I don't
That was not it.
yeah. Um, let's see. Oh, so I don't gosh, I always mess up his name. He used to drive an F2. I don't know how to say. I want to say Juan Manuel Carrera? Correa? I don't know how to say his name, but everybody calls him JM. Here, hold
That
on.
sounds like a
I was gonna say you probably recognize him. Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes. So I
I've
met
seen him
him.
before.
Nicest one of the weekend. Like, we were in the media center and I had met these two girls who were volunteering in the media center. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, like it's JM, like let's talk to him real quick because he's just literally wandering." And so we sit there and um it's like, "Oh, hi, how's it going? Like how are you?" He's like asking us, he's like, "Oh, where are you from? Is this your first IndyCar race? How long have you been into IndyCar?" Like just
Man, all the questions.
exactly, like asking like just literally our life story, right? And then
Love it.
um and then he's like, "Oh, do you know this guy?" Marcus Armstrong walks up, daps up JM, essentially gives us three girls who's talking to JM side eye, doesn't acknowledge us, and can
Disrespect.
exactly. That's what started that. And just has a little quick chat with JM and then jets off. And I'm like, and before they even started talking, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I said it loud enough. And I'm like, of course I know Marcus, big fan of Screaming Meals, like, which is the podcast that they used to do. Like, and he didn't even acknowledge me. Like,
So
which
rude.
was a little upsetting because he was one of the ones that I was most excited to interact with, and then he ends up like that. And then during driver intros, Marcus Armstrong gets called on stage, doesn't even look in the direction of the crowd. Nothing. As soon as that happened, that solidified my like, yeah, he has to work for his redemption.
We'll just say he was having a bad day.
A bad week and more like it.
But okay, yeah, a bad weekend. We'll go with that.
Like,
That's
gosh.
crazy. That is so crazy to me. Hmm.
Like it literally like upset me so much. Like that was so annoying because the first like the first time um we were gonna try and catch him, he told somebody else that he had an engineer meeting and that he had to run. Fine, whatever. Okay, we get that. We know like drivers are fashionably late for everything, okay?
Facts.
So that's fine. We let it slide. And then that stuff happened with JM. And then it kind of like threw us off because like he barely even looked in our direction when JM mentioned us first. And
Interesting.
so me and the girls started sitting there thinking about it. And then we were trying to make excuses for him because because there's no reason for him to act like that. And then that happened at driver intros, and one of the girls that I was with at the media center was in charge of what are called the rookie racers, and they stand there as the drivers walk down, and they like stick their hands out like how NASCAR does, like with the fist bumps, like they all stand
Oh
in a
yeah.
line, you know? And Marcus didn't even look happy to be excited, didn't look excited to be there, nothing. Like full on RBF, like, whereas all the other drivers were so hype, like, actually making it look enjoyable, whereas Marcus, no expression, like barely like acknowledging these kids that look up to these drivers. Like, so yeah, he has to do something for Major to get redemption.
So basically, a Bubba Wallace before he, I feel like, got actually trained that he should just do an interview and be thrilled about it.
Possibly.
What the
But
heck?
yeah, it was a little upsetting. Like, I did put this in my TikTok, but I thought it was really funny, so I want to mention it. Um, I got Kyle Kirkwood to say hi, welcome to Chili's, because he just got the new sponsor, Chili's. And he's like, I'm like recording this interaction whenever I go up to stop him, and he's like, he like pulls his phone out and he's like holding up, he's like, it's I just hold my phone up and say hi, welcome to Chili's, right? That's what that kid does in the video.
I feel like Carson needs to do that video.
I don't I don't know. I don't know how old Kyle Kirkwood is, but how does he not know the vine of the kid saying hi, welcome to Chili's?
Not gonna lie, anytime we pass the Chili's, I quote that
I do it all
because
the time too. I even if Chili's is not like in the
nowhere near
like
you just do
topic,
it.
like just randomly,
Because
that's like one of my vocal stems, like that I just
I do,
randomly say.
I like to do that one, or if there's like a road closed sign, I'm like, road work ahead. I'm
I
sure
sure hope it does. Yep.
I do that all the time. And my mom, she was like, "Why are you saying that?" I'm like, "Because it was a vine of a person who was driving that said, I sure hope it does because it's road closed."
Yeah. But again, there's probably like a million stories that I could do. I walked like a total of like 40,000 steps in like 3 days. So
That's insane.
yeah, that was wild. Um,
Insane.
but we're gonna move ahead on to this weekend. Sorry our episodes have been a little inconsistent. Being updated. That's totally 100% my fault. Um, I had everything set up for Friday. I literally had it uploaded and I literally all I had to do was hit post. And I forgot, because I was busy Friday. I was at the track at St. Pete, so that was again totally 100% my fault. But I have a couple weeks off until Martinsville, which I have confirmed that, as far as know. So,
I'll be in
um,
Vegas.
yes,
Work your
um,
right.
but we so I am hopefully gonna actually be on time with the episode this week. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Um, but as for this weekend, gonna be honest, I don't know when the F1 schedule starts. Oh, sorry, 20. Oh, testing. I was about to say, there's no way the first weekend has already passed. That freaked me out. Um, Actually, let me see. Let me double check. I think it's actually here pretty soon. Yes, next weekend. Um, the 14th is gonna start the weekend of the Australian Grand Prix. So, next weekend we will start into the F1 season. But the um the only NASCAR is doing stuff this weekend with Xfinity and Cup. Trucks are still off until Vegas. And INDYCAR will not be back until the end of the month, I believe. Um, So we only have two series to go over this week to pick our um to do our picks for Phoenix. The Xfinity series. Ooh, who?
It won't help because last year Chandler Smith won Xfinity.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who's good at Phoenix.
I
Well,
still feel like I still have like no idea who to like literally pick because I don't know how anybody's cars work still, I guess.
yeah, like you had basically two super speedways and then a road course. So like this is gonna be like the first actual look at, yeah, Atlanta was a mile and a half, but it ran like a super speedway. Like it still ran like a drafting track. So
Yeah.
this is gonna be the first actual look at how cars are gonna do on the not I don't think it's technically called a short track. Because I don't know what size Phoenix is. Um, but I think technically it's still, I want to say it's a mile and a half. Let me see. Oh, sorry, it's only a mile. Phoenix is exactly a mile, and it's an intermediate track.
Hmm.
Let's see. I don't know last year's winner.
Chandler Smith.
Oh, you right. You literally just said that. Oh my gosh. Guess who is going to be on the '07? Yes, it's Nick driving it, but guess who the sponsor is if you have not seen it?
I don't think I've seen it.
Vans Warp Tour.
Yeah.
Bro, 10 years ago I was going to Warp Tour. That was crazy to see that. Um Greg Van Alst is going to be in the 35 for Joey Gaze. Joey Gaze is going to be in the 53. This week in the 70, it is Thomas Annunziata. That car is split between him and Leland Honeyman Jr.
Dawson.
Yes, Dawson Cram is going to be in the 74.
I love Dawson. He cracks me up.
We we are fans of Dawson Cram in this house, okay?
Facts.
Um, so, mm, who? I want to say Justin Allgaier is good at Phoenix.
I know they keep
Um,
talking. I know they keep talking. Is he gonna go back to back since he won the championship and get another one at Phoenix? And I'm like, he is pretty good at Phoenix though.
yeah. Trying to think of like other people who are good at Phoenix.
Literally have no idea.
Because
Um,
I'm pretty sure I don't know if Xfinity did testing at Phoenix. I don't know if it was just Cup or not.
I think it was just Cup. I'm pretty sure. I don't
Uh-oh.
remember.
Okay, so man, we gotta pick. We gotta pick.
I'm gonna say, I'll say Sammy because he's won there once before. Um, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
this is gonna be
Just gotta go Sammy.
my picks are gonna be like complete wild cards. Because I have
I,
no idea how they do on this track, and I don't even know if they've ran it in an Xfinity car. Um, I'm gonna go Christian Eckes and Taylor Gray.
good choices, good choices.
I don't like I'm I
I'm
can't
pretty
remember
sure
exactly how the Colleague equipment is so far, but we know Joe Gibbs' equipment is gonna be
I
fast.
was I was gonna say Taylor's a long shot because I think he ran the Xfinity car there, but not with Joe Gibbs.
I think what did he wasn't in the Sam Hunt car, was he? Or was that only Corey?
I'm gonna say it was only Corey. But I know Taylor ran Xfinity, but I don't remember who he ran with because it
I say I thought he
wasn't.
was in yeah, I thought he was in the 18. Who was in
Oh
the
yeah,
No, no, no.
yeah. It was.
No, it wasn't the 18. I think it was the 19 because
Was
the
it?
18 was Sheldon and then the 81 was
Yeah,
Chandler. So I think it was the 19.
it was the 19 because he ran one of the Atlanta races, and he finished. I'm pretty sure like fourth.
Yeah,
He
he
finished up there. Taylor's actually pretty good. Like he figured out the Xfinity car
pretty
pretty
quick.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's the same setup as trucks almost, then he's gonna get it.
But yeah, I'm gonna do complete wild card.
Not bad,
Just
not bad.
let's see for the cup race.
It was
Um,
Siba who won last year.
I swear, if he goes three in a row, I'm quitting.
I'm gonna shoot myself. That's what's gonna happen. Someone give me a gun, and I'm gonna shoot myself. If he goes 3 for 3,
I'm
that's about where I'm at with that.
I'm gonna run it back. I'm gonna do a Ross Chastain and Ryan Blaney. I know that was the fall race that of 23, but I don't know. Who knows?
I just feel like
Oh,
I don't
Catherine
know.
Legg is gonna be in BJ McLeod's car for Live Fast Motorsports, the 78.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing Bob's tweet about that.
Yes. I'm a little sad that I can't be there because it would be cool to cover um a woman finally being back in the Cup Series.
Yeah, it's
But
been a while.
yeah.
Been a while.
I think Danica was the last one, right? I don't think anybody came after her.
I have so many other more names than just Danica for her.
Yeah. But we're gonna keep it PG here. Um,
Yeah, we will. Um, I think it was, and that was a long
it's
time
like,
ago.
yeah, she's the reason I actually pay for F1 TV, so I don't have to see her. Um, so
You should feel pretty blessed on that one
yeah,
because
as much as
as
I
someone,
love Jensen Button and I want to see Jensen Button, I cannot handle Danica Patrick.
as someone who has to see her if I do ever decide to watch F1 races, it is atrocious and I cringe the entire time she's on my screen. Sometimes I mute the TV,
Yeah.
but it's fine. I might be completely off on my guessing,
Okay.
but I'm gonna say Briscoe
Okay. I could see it.
and Bowman and Alex.
Alex has done Vegas. He's won Vegas. I don't know about Phoenix though.
He normally finishes fairly decently at Vegas, or not at Vegas, at Phoenix.
So those are our picks. And then luckily
Chiller.
next week I'll start chatting about the other series that we cover on this podcast. So, um, but I think that is it for us. There's probably more news, but like I'm brain dead after the weekend, so it's gonna have to wait. We covered the like at the moment stuff, okay? But um
Eventually, we'll get in the groove and, like,
yeah,
we'll actually have, like, news, but at this point, we're like,
it's very early in the season. I have been to like I was about to say 3 race weekends back to back. It feels like that, but I've only been to two. But like I have been like going nonstop since like Daytona. 'Cause like I also have like a weekly job, which we both do, but also I have traveled the past 2 weekends while also working like every day in between. So I'm trying to catch up on everything. Like my life is a mess right now.
and I'm like, I got 2 jobs. It's a lot.
But we're gonna close this out. Again, if you guys want to see any of the content, both either from Atlanta or from St. Pete, on my TikTok page, um, it is you can actually find it on like most of my platforms, and you can find my platforms connected to all the Trackside Girl stuff. Um, we're either the Trackside Girls accounts are only follow, I'm pretty sure only follow us two. Um, like I think I made it that way. Other than I think the Twitter follows the three series, like NASCAR, INDYCAR, and Formula One. But other than that, you're gonna find us as the regular accounts. So, but again, if you want to see all that, it was really fun over in St. Pete. Honestly, fantastic weather. Um, but we're gonna sign off because again, we're brain dead. After these past like I was at the airport or I was either at an airport or on a flight for like at least 12 hours yesterday. And then I had to be at work this morning and I worked like 8 hours today. So we love traveling.
It's like, "I'm done, let me go to bed."
Yeah. But let's sign off. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for listening. However you enjoy our lovely podcast. This has been episode 4 of the Trackside Girls podcast season 3. And we're gonna do our outro because we do this every episode and we're not stopping now. So we're gonna show it to you. It goes Keith, love, and you ready?
Yeah.
Race cars.
Oh.
New, bought it in the Charlotte airport. It's a
Oh
little
my gosh.
Haas F1 car, and
Oh
it's
my
it's
gosh.
a little girl racer. Look at her with her
Oh,
eyelashes.
I
But
love it.
so had to include it. But all right, good night, everybody.
Peace out.